Quote all of that. We are joined by Mr. Shujaul Rehman, CEO, Garware Technical Fibres. Hi, good morning, and welcome to the show. So a strong set of numbers delivered by you, more than 30% revenue, EBITDA growth as well is very good. How sustainable do you believe this growth is over the next few quarters from now?
Good morning. Thanks for having us on the show. Yeah, the results have been very good. 31% top line and 20% bottom line growth is a very encouraging number. And I think, as you mentioned some time back in our last interaction with your channel, quarter four was looking very positive for us, but we had some last minute issues due to Middle East crisis, and some of the material got shifted to this year. So we got a very good gain this year in quarter one. These numbers are sustainable because the quarter two pipeline is also looking very encouraging. As we speak, there are still challenges, external challenges, which we are trying to overcome. One obviously is the issue of logistics, export logistics. There is shortage of container. There's also freight increase, which we are trying to work on, and also raw material is still volatile. But given all this situation, we are working around the clock to ensure that the quarter two results are also good. So things are positive for quarter two also.
Right. Synthetic cordage emerged as the biggest growth driver this quarter. Now, could you break down the contribution from domestic demand, salmon aquaculture, and the recovery in the US market? Now, which of these do you expect to remain the strongest growth engine?
For us, the biggest segment is aquaculture. We had, as I mentioned, good order book into this year, and we've been able to get these orders executed in quarter one. And some of the material of last year also came into play this year, and we got good deltas in aquaculture. So demand for aquaculture is still solid. I was just doing some research to find out that the demand for aquaculture globally has grown at a rate of 5% the last 10, 15 years, and it's going to increase at 7%. And 7% demand increase for fish definitely means that for a product like us, which are valued product, and we may go at a faster pace. So the demand outlook is very positive for salmon and overall for other aquaculture species, and also for Q2. Sports was impacted last year due to tariff issue, but we were able to retain our customers, and we have very long relationship with these customers, and now things are looking very positive. We have very strong order book. Geosynthetic, which is the infrastructure space that we operate in, has been doing very well last 3-4 years. Continue to do well. Last 3 years, the growth has been more than 40% CAGR. So this quarter also has been good. And then what is important is the domestic business, other than geosynthetic, which is typically in the area of fisheries, trawling, and industrial segment. These businesses were not doing so well last few years, but now they are on path of great recovery. And we had a structure change, and things are looking very positive for domestic also. So overall, I think all cylinders are firing at this point. That's a good thing.
Sure. Mr. Rehman, the US business has recovered after tariff-related disruptions. Now, how demand will you say that has been normalized fully, or are there any remaining trade or policy risks that investors should keep an eye on?
So demand has been good. See, USA is about 10% of our business. It's not a very big part of our business, and that got impacted last year. But this year, the demand outlook is good. Orders are coming. There's obviously, as we read in the newspaper, there is a tariff risk still looming, which we don't know and we can't control. So, we have to anyway do our best and ensure our customers are happy. So the order position is very strong, and USA market is looking positive. And, we'll keep executing. There is a little bit of risk people are talking about, but we can't control that.
Right. Also, Mr. Rehman, geosynthetics continue to deliver strong growth and excellent profitability. Now, what structural trends are driving this business, and how large do you see this opportunity over, say, the next 3 to 5 years?
So these are geosynthetics is use of polymer products for infrastructure. So we are in the slope protection, rockfall protection business, hazardous waste management system. And also a little bit of international business in geosynthetic. So on all the fronts, the business is looking positive. We've been able to sustain this level of growth for last 3 years, and we are positive that the next few years also we'll be able to maintain this trajectory. The expenditure by the Indian government on infrastructure space is obviously helping us. It's like a little bit of tailwind for us. So that's helping us.
All right, but despite significant cost pressures, EBITDA margins remain broadly stable year on year. What operational efficiencies or pricing strategies helped protect this profitability?
So when there was a raw material increase towards March and April, we were able to pass through because we operate with our customers in a valued segment. We have value proposition-based product selling that we have been working for many years. So we were able to pass through with a lag. So that impacted our margin a little bit this quarter. Also, aquaculture business was very solid this year. Aquaculture is the highest segment for us in terms of margin. So that also impacted our margin positively. In fact, the domestic fisheries business, which is also a big business for the domestic market, is also a high margin business. And normally this quarter one is the season for fisheries business, which also impacted our margin positively.
Right now, the Middle East conflict, of course, is dragging on, and it is creating quite a bit of uncertainty. In a prolonged disruption scenario, which parts of your business do you think will be the most exposed, and what contingency plans do you have in place?
So in terms of RM availability, RM is available. As I mentioned a while back, we are able to pass through the RM increase. If there's a volatility in RM, we are able to pass through. So that from that angle, we are kind of covered. The external risk of container availability, logistic is a bigger risk. And in terms of capacity, we have enough capacity to produce. So that's the only thing which we are working on. We are closely working with all the shipping lines. Our team is working around the clock to ensure that we are able to execute our dispatches on time, material reaches on time. That's the only risk we are working, and we are trying to solve it. Our ports are also not the big ports, because mostly aquaculture companies are based in small ports. So that also creates a problem for us. But last few quarters, we have been working to try and solve it. The freight rates are now highest post the COVID. In many cases, increase of 2% to 200% or so. That also has been discussed with customers to try and solve it. So that's one challenge we look at. RM volatility is also a challenge, but that I think we can manage.
Innovation and new product development, that remains the central part of your strategy now. Could you share which new products or technologies you are most excited about and how they could contribute to future growth from your on?
So our technology innovation is in various spaces. We are working very strongly towards new products which are in the pipeline for aquaculture. There are certain products which are also in pipeline for our segments in value-added rope segment, which is a segment which we are trying to expand. And in geosynthetic also, there are certain products which are being trialed with certain government bodies at this stage, and which are showing very good signs. So these are something which is on the anvil, and we are working on. And very soon, I think we'll be able to showcase the results of these innovations.
Right, Mr. Rehman, appreciate your speaking to us on ET Now. Thank you very much for joining in.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, with that, it's time for a very short break on Buy Now, Sell Now. Kavita and I will be here, so do remain.